And good day, everyone. Hope you're doing well today. We got an article from Inverse.com, and the title is Genius Rise of Skywalker Theory Explains Palpatine, Rey, Zorri, and more. Wrapping up every loose plot into one comprehensive Episode 9 explanation. And it's dated August 11th, 2019. So, of course, this is another fan theory, and if you like this kind of stuff, consider subscribing to the channel. Really helps out the channel a lot. Lets me know if I'm doing a good job. So, let's get into this. The most comprehensive Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker fan theory in recent memory hit Reddit on Tuesday, and it's got everything you possibly want out of theoretical spoilers. Who is Snoke? How does Palpatine return? What are Rey's true origins? Will Kylo Ren ever be redeemed? What's the deal with Matt Smith? Somehow, this comprehensive theory answers all these questions, and then some, in a way we just might make everyone happy, if it turns out to be true. So obviously, speculative spoilers ahead for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Alright. The theory points out some of the rumors and supposed leaks that came out of Making Star Wars podcast episode released August 5th. They refer to it as the MSW, and how it's led to all sorts of speculation about Palpatine's terrifying new ship, Rey's memories being tampered, the Knights of the Old Republic, and what could be the connection between Luke Skywalker and Kerry Russell's Zorri Bliss. Redditor Yaya references Palpatine's official contingency plan for after his death, which included Operation Cinder, as depicted in the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign, and other canon Star Wars stories from the comics. The idea was to destabilize the galaxy, eradicate the rebels, and destroy the Empire, so it could be reborn again the outer rim of the galaxy. Canonically, this is what led to the creation of the First Order. But there's more of a personal angle for Palpatine. Palpatine told Anakin that they'd find the secret to stopping people from dying, they write, referencing the conversation from Revenge of the Sith. I believe Palpatine secretly meant by this that he was planning on possessing Anakin to continue living after his body died. For Revenge of the Sith to see this detail and never really follow through on it would feel weird once the saga closes. So it seems reasonable it could factor in Episode 9. In this theory, Palpatine always intended to use Anakin Skywalker as a host he could possess to live on after death. After that obviously failed, he resorted to take control of Snoke, a dark side enthusiast who know virtually nothing about, because Snoke was a pawn all along? But Palpatine always considered this a temporary solution, and that's where Rey comes in. Palpatine/Snoke feels a strong presence in the Force in a very young Rey. They write, he realizes she'd be a perfect vessel to possess and return to full strength. He hires a bounty hunter, Zorri Bliss, to find Rey and steal her from her family to bring to the First Order. Similar to other recent rumors and theories, Zorri Bliss's ship looks like the same one from Rey's memory of being abandoned on Jakku, leading some to assume that Bliss is either Rey's alcoholic junk trader mother, or that she was involved in some greater mystery that happened during Rey's youth that could explain what makes her so special. Zorri could be the Yondo to Rey's Star-Lord from MCU's Guardians of the Galaxy series, in that she was hired to deliver Rey somewhere, but decided to protect the child instead. This part of the theory would also work if Rey turns out to be a Palpatine clone created in a remote lab. Maybe Zorri is the junk trader that Rey remembers. What if the Rise of Skywalker unfolds with all the characters gradually discovering all this information, only to find that Palpatine's spirit exists somewhere in the Outer Rim? He's now desperate to possess Kylo Ren and wants to destroy Rey, but eventually has to settle for Matt Smith's secret character, presumably some B-list Sith wannabe. In Yaya's theory, this leads to the final confrontation. So we'll read the quote from the Reddit. Kylo, now in control of the First Order army that he knows nothing of the backstory of, meanwhile discovers Palpatine in the unknown regions with the help of his Knights of Ren and a Wayfinder to describe in the MCW. Palpatine's spirit is there, disembodied, and it becomes clear throughout the movie that Palpatine's plan is to possess Kylo and use him as a new host, just as he planned to do for Anakin and Rey. This, with Palpatine's orders to destroy Rey, becomes Kylo's breaking point to turn against the First Order and Palpatine. In an epic climax, Palpatine then possesses Matt Smith's character, a dark side acolyte, and fights Rey and Kylo. As the MSW leaks indicated, Palpatine jumps into Kylo's body, and Kylo tells Rey to kill him, to destroy Palpatine once and for all. So this would ultimately lead to a happy ending for Ben Solo and Rey, who together are finally able to bring the much talked about balance to the Force. The one plot hole that wouldn't make sense is why the film is called The Rise of Skywalker, but there's any number of dialogue options or other plot twists that could still fit in this theory to make it work. So what I'll do is I will read the whole Reddit from the theory from Reddit, and and you can go from there. As the recent MSW leaks, I've been concocting a new theory about Rey's backstory, how it relates to Zorri's backstory, which MSW has suggested is rather important, and how it relates to leaks of Palpatine possessing Matt Smith Kylo. Here it goes. Palpatine's contingency plan. Palpatine told Anakin that they'd find the secret to stopping people from dying. I believe Palpatine secretly meant by this that he was planning on possessing Anakin to continue living after his body died. As we all know, Anakin killed Palpatine's body and thus derailed his plan. However, Palpatine had a contingency plan. I believe the First Order is just that, the first order of events to be carried out should Palpatine be overthrown. As a recent MSW leak indicates, Palpatine has an elite fleet of troopers and ships in the unknown regions waiting to be activated. I believe that all the First Order troops and weapons equipment have been created here, which explains how they have such a robust army even though the Republic had been reinstated. Palpatine always had this contingency plan waiting in the unknown regions. This also explains why the Sith troopers have FO design and not OT trooper design. Now, who was Snoke then? Snoke was a dark side enthusiast and a vessel that Palpatine was inhabiting to create the First Order from the unknown regions. However, Snoke was old and weak. Palpatine knew that eventually he needed a younger body to inhabit. Rey's origin. Enter Rey. Palpatine/Snoke feels a strong presence in the Force in a very young Rey. He realizes she would be a perfect vessel to possess and return to full strength. He hires a bounty hunter, Zorri Bliss, to find Rey and steal her from her family to bring her to the First Order. Zorri goes to fulfill this task but realizes she just can't do this. She has a change of heart and decides to raise Rey herself. She tells the First Order that Rey had died. Snoke, Palp's First Order, sets out to hunt Zorri down to punish her for letting Rey die. So Zorri and her husband, boyfriend, friend go on the run with Rey, raising her for years and hiding from the First Order. This is easier to do than hiding from the Empire because the First Order still is out the outlying force of the Republic. They get by junk trading, taking up a drinking habit, as Kylo referred to in The Last Jedi. After years of close calls with the First Order, they realize they can't protect Rey properly and decide to leave her on Jakku with Plut, imagining that someday they'll come back for her, and they never get the chance. Meanwhile, Snoke Palpatine has turned to their plan B, Kylo. He'll be raised and trained to use the dark side and will one day be possessed by Palpatine. How this plays out in The Rise of Skywalker. The Resistance meets Zorri, who's flying the same ship that we saw in The Force Awakens. Rey recognizes it as she was raised on it. Zorri tells Rey the backstory, and this activates the Resistance to what awaits the galaxy in the unknown regions. Rey finally understands her backstory and purpose. She is once set to be Palpatine's weapon and now realizes she must destroy him. Kylo, now in control of the First Order army that he knows nothing the backstory of, meanwhile discovers Palpatine in the unknown regions, with the help of his Knights of Ren and a wayward finder to described in the MSW. Palpatine's spirit is there disembodied, and it becomes clear throughout the movie that Palpatine's plan is to possess Kylo and use him as a new host, just as he planned to do for Anakin and Rey. This, with Palpatine's orders to destroy Rey, becomes Kylo's breaking point to turn against the First Order and Palpatine. In an epic climax, Palpatine then possesses Matt Smith's character, a dark side acolyte, as per MSW leak, and fights Rey and Kylo. As the MSW leak indicates, Palpatine jumps into Kylo's body, and Kylo tells Rey to kill him, to destroy Palpatine once and for all. Roll credits, what you think? Edit. One thing I can't figure out is this. Why the hell this movie's called The Rise of Skywalker? So, forget about Anakin's blue lightsaber. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker may finally bring back Luke Skywalker's iconic green lightsaber. The last time anyone laid his hands on this was during a flashback scene in Star Wars The Last Jedi. Still hasn't been spotted since Luke used it during the Battle of Endor in Return of the Jedi, so it's long overdue for a comeback. So what do you think about this leak? Do you think that this leak from Reddit is legit? I don't take all these as legit, but interesting. So what do you think about this? Let me know in the comments section. And if you think it's kind of legit, but you want to play around with it a bit, let me know what you do with that. I really am interested in what others think and what other plot twists we could have in the movie. So, thanks for watching. Take care and have an awesome day.